obligatory question, but back with Darnell Nurse, you've been with him quite a long time, dating back to last year. What's that comfortability and that feeling of getting back with him?
Yeah, it's just that it's comfortable, and me and Nursey played a lot of games together and played some really good games together. So hopefully we can pick up where we left off. I think the last one we played together was against the Rangers, so that was a good one. So hopefully we can pick up right where we left off.
It didn't get left off the way you wanted it to get left off last year in the playoffs. You're a different team, and even though you had a real good final couple games here personally against Winnipeg, just a thought on the matchup and a chance to play the Jets again. They're a different team, you're a different team, but does that fuel some things in the back of your mind at all?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, it feels familiar to be back in the last time we were in here, we had that big overtime game and ended up, they ended up sending us home. So, yeah, I think you're definitely aware of it. Like you mentioned, though, we've got some new guys. They've got some new guys. So it's a different feel. But yeah, I mean, it's almost a bit of a rivalry.
You played two teams on this road trip that were very passive on the forecheck with, especially Buffalo, 1-2-2, and then you played a couple teams that got after you a little bit. Winnipeg's a team that they like to press. How's that changed sort of the complexion in terms of the puck maintenance and sort of things you guys need to do to be effective?
Yeah, Winnipeg's they're a fast team. They forecheck as hard as anybody, and they have their D probably as involved on the forecheck as anyone. So it'll be just trying to get back to pucks as quickly as can, and making that first option, and then I think it'll be the second pass, the second play that's going to be big, whether it's the wingers getting it out on the wall or finding that center in the middle. We got to find ways to kind of pick apart their forecheck a little bit.
Tyson, how do you feel like this team is different or maybe even better than the one that lost to the Jets in the playoffs last year?
Yeah, I think we're just more confident. We go into games and we feel like we're going to win, and it's almost like we know we're going to win. So, it's just a confident group. I think we made some great moves. Got some good pieces, a little more probably depth and scoring throughout the lineup. So, I think we're very comfortable with where we're at, and we've played. Our record's good, but we haven't played near our best yet. So. We're just working towards, trying to be the best we can every night.
And Paul Maurice, their coach, was talking about how you guys have been a rush team, maybe still are to some degree. Do you feel like you're adding kind of elements and layers to your game that, makes you guys a better offensive team within the zone and gives better looks?
Yeah, I think we're doing a little better job of getting some sustained offense in the O zone, and obviously the rush game is there. It's going to be there with the players that we have on this team. They're going to make you pay in transition, but yeah, just finding a way to create some more sustained offense, and whether that's D getting involved, moving the puck, walking the blue line, or kind of jumping in the O zone, and just maybe more of a shot mentality too.
Tyson, you played 49 minutes in that triple overtime game. Have you ever played that many minutes in a game, and did it seem tiring? Darnell said he was fresh as a daisy, so was it the same for you?
No, I was exhausted. I don't know what Darnell's up to, but I think he was at 60 minutes or something. But yeah, that was the most I've ever played, and obviously it was every shift was intense. It could be the end, so that was I remember being pretty tired after that, but obviously disappointed too with the way that.
When you're playing that much, you can't conserve your energy during the shift, obviously. An overtime game either. No, you got to be going. You got to be on all the time, and any play can be the last. So, that was a crazy game, and a while ago now, but.
Tyson, the last couple of seasons you've been teammates with Zach Kassian, but you've gone up against him in the past few years before that. What does a guy like Zach Kassian do for opposing defenders, in your experience?
Yeah, Cass was always a guy that you knew when he was on the ice, and you knew when he was on the other team. He's a guy that can be a bit of a nightmare to play against when he's forechecking hard, and he finishes his checks, and obviously he's not afraid to get in your face a little bit too. So Cass a great player, and he's a big part of this team, and I think he was rolling pretty good there, and he's physical, and he makes some great plays too.
How much of a jump do you guys get as teammates getting an energy player back like that?
Yeah, big, and he's a vocal guy in the room too. He likes to get the boys going. He's a pretty funny guy, so he's brings a lot to our locker room, and I think having him back is it's great. Good. Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, Tyson. Zach, can you maybe take us through the process of what the last few days have looked like for you mentally and physically and gearing up, coming back to the lineup?
Yeah, the road trip seems to be extra long. Obviously, you want to be playing, especially on the road. You have a lot of downtime, but it was a little fluke of a play. Healthy now, excited to get back. Obviously, we're playing a good Winnipeg team, but I'm looking forward to getting back there, playing my game, and helping this team win hockey games.
You've been very vocal about the fans coming back, how much a player like yourself feeds off those energies. You're coming into a hostile environment. It's not an easy place to play. So what does Zach Kassian need to do tonight?
Well, as a team, we just need to play the right way. I think even on this road trip, there's been games where we're outscoring our opponent, but we're also giving up a lot of grade A chances, and I think we have to clean up that, especially with their high-power offense. And they're a good checking team as well, so we need to make sure we're good in all three zones. But personally, I just need to get in on the forecheck, be moving my feet, be physical, be good around the net. I think Clowder and Fogues have been playing well together, and I think I can come in and help in and give it a little spark.
A couple of your teammates in the past few days have talked about the team not necessarily giving a full 60, yet your team is still producing results, 11-3 on the season. What does that say about the ceiling of this club?
Yeah, it says a lot. I don't think it's a recipe for success through an 82-game season, but hey, it's the first couple months. We like where we're at with our record, but you're always tweaking stuff as the season goes on. You're always working on things. No team is playoff ready the first 10 games. You know, there's things you have to work on. Some teams it's offense, some teams it's defense, some teams it's some more system stuff. For us, we're scoring goals at will, it seems like right now, but if we can tighten up all three zones, like I said, we're just going to make it that much harder on teams to get out with 2 points playing against us.
Zach, can you explain what happened with your injury? Was it just the first shift there in Detroit, kind of in the corner? Something kind of went awry there?
No, it happened in my last shift. I just went to hit a guy. My leg got stuck in the ice, and two players kind of just got stuck and just tweaked my groin. Fluke, like I said, a fluke play. Happy it wasn't anything too serious, but like I said, stuff like that happens. It's kind of disappointed, obviously. Obviously, with last year being injured quite a bit, but hey, I'm back. Didn't miss too much time. Seemed like a lot longer than it was, but I'm excited to get back and play.
Was that a case where just want to make sure it's completely healed, everything's fine, you don't?
Yeah, well, we look at our schedule. Speaking with our trainers, we play every other day for a while here, so it's a marathon, not a sprint, and there's certain injuries you can play through, but the groin you use it quite a bit out there while you're skating. So it's one of those things. Those are muscles that need to be fully healed to be playing at your best.
Can you explain how you feel your team, the Oilers, are different from the one that ended the season against this Jets team a few months ago?
Well, I think we've learned a lot from that series against the Jets. I think, obviously, when you replace certain guys with, how many guys did we bring in? Five new guys or 4 new guys? That right there, you bring in their abilities to play, you bring in their different mannerisms on the ice, you bring in their different personalities. That right away helps your team grow. I feel like we got a lot better through those players, and collectively the guys that have been here for a while, we're just growing. And I think obviously our power play has been good for a number of years now. Our PK has been good. Just collectively as a 5-man unit, we're not having issues scoring goals, but there's still little areas where we'd like to clean up, and I think we can do that against the Jets tonight. We'll be successful.
Your record is obviously elite at 11-3, but Tyson, I think you also kind of alluded to it that maybe you guys haven't quite put your best games together, so to speak. What do you think is either missing, or is it just a case of a lot of new guys and trying to kind of iron out some kinks in the early part of the season?
You could say that. I think it's just a little more attention to detail. I think it's crazy. You have the record, you think everything's perfect, right? But we're not complaining about the record. It's hard to get wins in this league. There's no teams that are just handing you 2 points. So we're finding ways to win, so you have to be happy with that. But ultimately, like I said earlier, there's things you have to work on and progressively get better at throughout the year to be where you want to be when the big games come. And I think that's more important right now. Our record speaks volumes of how we're able to win games, but I think we can make it a lot harder on teams to score goals, create chances, and I think that's where we're going to find a lot of our success, especially down the road.
Thank you, Zach. We'll turn with Coach Dave Tippett. Dave, looks like Zach Kassian's going to come back tonight.
Yeah, sounds like he's ready to play. So he got through the skate all right this morning. So I think he'll be activated and ready for the lineup.
What do you need to see from that line of McLeod, Fogle, and Kassian tonight?
Well, it's the first time we've really Mac's come up the lineup a little bit. So it's the first time we've really seen them together a little bit since camp. So McLeod's played well for us, and Cass coming back. See if we can get that third line going a little bit like it was early in the season.
Dave, how do you think your team is better than the team that lost to Winnipeg in the playoffs last year?
Different teams. We've got some different players on it now. It's more depth at forward.
A different style of a few players who don't do stuff off the rush in terms of Fogels and those sort of things you needed perhaps against Winnipeg?
Well, just some people that play a more grind game, that's the biggest difference. Just some different personnel, and the evolution of some personnel. Like Jesse's continued to come, Bouchard's come along, so there's some evolution of personnel also.
Dave, over this road trip and really over the course of the season, you guys have talked about not being able to put a full 60 together. So what does that say about the ceiling and the potential of this club if you can fire on all cylinders?
Well, we need to play. There's parts of our game that we like, and there's parts that we have to improve, and that's no different than any other season as you go on. But there's some parts of our game that we've really got to start digging into. Some of our play without the puck hasn't been nearly good enough, and so we've spent some time addressing that the last couple of days here. I'd like to see us clean up some of that stuff. But that being said, we've been finding ways to win, and it's always better when you win. But for us, it's about getting better. It's about continue to improve, and we've had a pretty good start. But we all recognize we're going to have to get a lot better to get to where we want to go.
It looks like Mikko Koskinen is going to get the start tonight, despite giving up 4. Was that his best effort last game? Well,
we gave up way more chances, especially on our penalty kill. We gave up way too many chances the other night. So he bailed us out of that and gave us a chance to win. And Yamo got a big goal at the end, but he was very good. Like I say, we gave up far more chances than I'd like to see.
Just got one question on Zoom. Jason Greger, go ahead. Dave, do you
think there's? I know you mentioned you got a lot of new players, but a lot of your core guys are still here. When you played, is there any extra motivation in that first game the following year to a team that kind of ended your dream the year before?
Well, I'm sure for the guys that are here, there's those memories that you want to jump in front of, and there's there's a sour taste left in your mouth from how it ended last year. So the guys who are here, I'm sure there's thoughts of that. The new guys coming in, I think it's clean slate. They want to get going. But for us right now, we've talked more about our team, the way we've been playing this road trip. There's been some good parts, but there's some parts that we got to improve. So it's less about who we're playing tonight and how we're playing. And we recognize Winnipeg's played well this year. They've got a solid team, but we've got to get our game to where it needs to be to give ourselves the best chance to be successful.
In your game specifically, Dave, is it just kind of like the key moments of inconsistency, like maybe gifting goals where you just give up the puck and you're not under pressure? Or you mentioned last game some battles around the crease, because for long stretches you play well. Are you kind of almost gifting goals to the other teams and making it a little bit too easy at times?
There's some inconsistency in the structure of how we play, and there's just some mistakes being made more without the puck. Turnovers happen in the game. Both teams have turnovers, and some of those are forced. I mean, that's part of the game, the way the game goes. But there's some structure stuff and then some play without the puck that comes down to positioning. Some competitive battle stuff that we can improve our game. If we do that, we'll give up less chances.
Dave, can you give us an update on Mike Smith, where he's at?
Haven't talked to him since he left the team. It was we were talking about a minimum a couple of weeks then, and I haven't heard any different.
So it's 2 weeks from when he left.
We'll go back and see. I haven't talked to the
But he's
doctors.
not ready to practice,
No.
as far as you know. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.